Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I was born with a plastic spoon in my mouth. It's true. That it is. Substitute me for him. Substitute my Coke for gin. Does anyone drink gin anymore? My dad used to love those Beefeater gin martinis. Substitute you for my mom. At least my washing will get done. Oh, the Who. You just don't make lyrics like that anymore, and half of them are gone. Keith Moon's been gone for, 40-some-odd years. The great bassist John Entwistle is gone as well. Keith and Roger are still going to go out on the road, right? Or Pete and Roger, Daltrey and Townsend. And they always make Jacksonville one of their stops. If you've never seen The Who, even at this age, you need to go. And you talk about golf foursomes, okay? For those of you who were born with the silver spoon in your mouth. Don't have to work hard. Things have been given to you. You are one of inheritance. I mean, this is jealousy talking. I just can't imagine what that must be like. Because I've been told since day one that money doesn't equal happiness. And I'm going to call it 20 right now and say, I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. And you can Hollywood me. You can take me to rock stars and actors and political figures and this and that and this and that. Give me a whole crap load of money and you'll see nothing but a smile ear to ear, except for when Florida State loses, except for when the Jags lose, except for when the Red Sox lose. They had won 3 in a row. They've now won 3 of 5. Celtics blew a lead last night. The Bruins got it done. Pasta. David Pasternak took it in the deke in the goal. We're going to get a game 6. Just my way of looking at it. Folks, you can't believe everything that you're told. If you ever hear money doesn't bring happiness, that is wrong. It does. Just be smart about it. Just have a good time with it. All right, we continue to celebrate the blue-collar workers of Duval. What a day. My gosh, man, I was getting tired watching the GF out there doing some hedge work and doing some trimming. So then I went out with the lawnmower, got her done, and, I had to take a knee a few times. It was, 90 degrees today, but with just a tiny bit of humidity. I played golf last week, and there was no humidity at all. It was windy. It was absolutely spectacular. But the heat is coming, and we're here for it. I'm never going to complain about the heat. We could use just a tad bit of rain, right? I mean, this has been a massive drought. But anyway, a getaway Wednesday for yours truly. Tomorrow morning on my way to the Dominican Republic for a week, really in search of a buzz. Recommendations I will take. I find myself diving into rum, all sorts of assorted rums, those frozen cocktails that average about 1,500 calories per. That's what I go after. And, they do have good beer in the Dominican Republic. I'm going to be drinking Presidente, which I happen to love. There's one place in St. Augustine called Stogie's. Are you familiar with it at all, JJ?
I've been.
They sell.
I've also had that beer before. I think I had it in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, they sell Presidente there. And they always have the little fire pit going. They have those little homemade rolled cigars. You can buy a big package of them. So I'll do a lot of that as well. But I'm in search of a buzz. I'm in search of a good time. I'm in search of playing some serious golf. I also want to ask you, it's a tiny bit self-serving, and I apologize. I'll get off it momentarily. But I had this thing on my arm, and I went and visited my dentist and my dental hygienist over, they do such a fantastic job at Coy Dental. It used to be Carlson Dental, and she's like, "You need to get this thing checked." I'm like, what are you talking about? It's just a little sunspot. She's like, "Yeah, it's a little sunspot there, but it could be half your arm." So I go in, and I'm thinking they're going to tell me that they're going to have to cut this bad boy off at around the elbow, and that that'll be it. And, that's what I'm thinking. So they go after it and they freeze it. And it felt like someone was putting out a cigar on my arm. Okay,
That's about the size of it.
Right. There were two ladies here. I tried to act like I was tough, in case, this. So I grinded it out. They also did one on my head, which did not bother me at all. But then I got this weird reaction. You saw the blister that I got. And of course, I looked it up and it's like, leave the blister alone. I showed you and I was like, I'm going to pop it. And you're like, no, don't pop it. So what I find myself doing now all the time, and I can't figure it out because my eyes are perfect, I keep running into stuff. I keep running into doors, running into chairs. I find myself dropping a lot of stuff. I was handling some baseball cards the other night. I had like a rookie Hal McRae, a 1970. I also had like a 1970 Danny Carter. I had a 1970 Veda Pinson. I was looking at some more, and I just dropped them. Okay, I mean, I've never dropped a beer in my life, and I'm just dropping stuff, and I'm bumping into stuff. So sure enough, it happens yesterday. I bump into a chair right where the wound is, and you can see it, those of you watching on YouTube or Twitter. It's a big open wound right now, unprotected. I guess the white blood cells are doing theirs. That'll help me out a little bit. But I'm going to a foreign country. I'm going to the Dominican Republic, which is third world except for in the resort that I am going to be. Now, it was just a couple of years ago that people died out there from drinking water. Remember that? Remember that big deal? But here's where I am. There are so many false, what am I looking for here? Gospels or tall tales that have been around forever, and I want to know if it's true. One of those is you can sweat out a sickness. I Google it like once a month because I feel like if I sweat out a sickness, I'm told you can't sweat out a cold or a sickness. I don't want to believe it, okay? It's like a Santa Claus moment for me. Something else, don't go swimming for at least 30 minutes after you eat, right? It's like an old mother's tale. I've always been told that the salt water is the absolute best thing that can happen to you and your skin if you have an open wound. Look at this right here. This thing is massive. Okay, I don't think I've ever seen it looks like I got bit by a great white shark. That'd be the best way to describe to you my left arm. So, is this an old adage? Or is it not true at all that getting salt water on this will be worse for me as opposed to if my dad was alive, he'd say, "Oh yeah, Ricky, just go in the water, man. You'll be fine. Just go in that salt water, man."
That's what I just said to you. I believe that.
Yeah, and again, but does it fall into the category of we've always been told that,
like
but it's not necessarily the case? Or am I better off not doing that, just keeping it covered once I'm in the chlorine pools? And, I don't swim in the ocean anyway. But in this case, I'll, get in there for 15 seconds and get back out.
Yeah, because that bad boy's going to attract a shark, too.
Oh, yeah.
Think about that.
It's an open wound.
Yeah.
They could smell this from freaking Atlantic Beach.
Australia.
All the way out in the different seas as well. It doesn't matter. I mean, this thing is so large that it will travel. So anyway, if you can help me on that, and I hate to make it about myself, I really do. But in this case, I'm asking for some advice. 641-1010, text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also on YouTube tonight, 1010XL into the night. All right. I'm going to come back and get into something that could really be disturbing with the officials. And apparently, it's been a pretty good week. There are indications of continued progress between the NFL and the NFL referees and their union. we know that the collective bargaining agreement ends in 32 days. All right? You want to be able to put everything out there, get it done. Now, I'm with you when it comes to the officiating. I hate rolling in here on a Monday, whether it's college or pro. There's nothing worse than talking about how an official, an umpire, a referee had a clear effect on the outcome of a game. It's really, really bad. And it feels like for you, I have to imagine, in most cases, those calls go against you, right? If calls go for you, it's so convenient to just forget about it, right? But you're always going to remember Miles Jack wasn't down. You're always going to remember that bogus 15-yard penalty on A.J. Boye. You're always going to remember that phantom clip when Dalvin Cook against Clemson. I mean, it's just one after another, after another, after another. You're always going to remember that stuff, okay? The ones that work for you, they're gone within minutes. As bad as they are, they're still way better than the replacements. They're there for one reason. They're the very best at what they do. Human nature comes into play. Human error comes into play. They have to get a deal done. We're going to go over this once again. If you forget, they really, made quite a bit of progress in late February at the owners' meetings in Phoenix. And they identified quite a few things that they are changing and even some things that will change even more if there are replacement referees. Everywhere you look in pro football, it's greed, and it's more, and it's more, and it's more, and it's more for the owners. International games. You and I both know it. We're a couple of years away from 18 regular season games. We're a couple of years away from every single team in the NFL at least playing one game per year, internationally speaking. I don't want to bore you with television broadcasting rights and what is going to happen with the out clause that the NFL owners do have, and how a research company seems to believe they're going to make like a 58% profit in less than 4 years. I mean, think of that. The league is just growing and growing and growing and growing. You have to have the best officials. You can't try to get by bringing in folks who have worked at a much lower level in college football, or may I, even say arena football, or, whatever it may be. It's not the same. But reportedly today, it is better than earlier believed. Now, the other side of this is Friday, the NFL will begin training potential replacement officials in the event of the lockout. The NFL did distribute today crew assignments to referees in their responsibilities for the season, even though a lockout is coming up in 32 days. So, again, there is some positivity here, but it still is something that is yet to get completed, and they just can't afford to make this mistake. The officials are also out of line here, as far as I'm concerned. I'll tell you why after our first break. I mean, they have to budge a little bit. That whole rule on seniority is just bogus. I mean, you get playoff games, you get the Super Bowl based on what? Your performance. The best advance. Last time I checked, you advance in the playoffs because you won a game. You're the best team. You have the best coach. You have the best front office. You go from the wild card to the divisional to the championship to the Super Bowl because as a team, you are the best. Shouldn't officials gradually move up based on how they're rated? They are rated. They are ranked. We don't get to see it. I mean, you talk about the Epstein files. I mean, open up the freaking official files. There's no way you and I or anyone else could ever possibly see how these officials are rated. We just find out based on playoff responsibilities. Well, now the curmudgeons are saying, let's scrap that. Let's do it by seniority. That's foolish. That's beyond stupid. Anyway, we'll get into that a little bit from here coming up in just a few minutes. We're also going to get into something that I think you'll really enjoy that is Jaguars related. We're going to check in with John Osher as well. He will join us at 7 o'clock, the senior writer at Jaguars.com. Okay. On my way to the DR, the Dominican Republic. And I tell you what, I'm going to have 20/20 eyesight. And that's a good thing because it's beautiful over there. And I'm going to have a lot of fun just relaxing. But, I still haven't decided. Am I going to bring my clubs with me? Is it worth bringing my clubs with me? I think I'm only going to play 2 rounds. If I don't, I won't have a rangefinder, right? If I can't see the pin, that could be a little bit of a problem, especially considering I'm using replacement golf clubs, which is almost as bad as replacement officials, okay? But I still feel pretty good about it being 150 out and not saying it's 175, 180 out. Why? I got perfect eyes, 20/20. Thank you, Shmunez Vision. You've been there forever, and it is so appreciated. You need to be in the same boat. Make an appointment today, Shmunez Vision. Go on in for an examination. If you want surgery, if you want laser eye surgery, so you can have 20/20 for the rest of your life, make an appointment. The same individuals, the same doctors who will examine you will also take you through every step of the surgery and perform the surgery. That's Dr. Catherine Shmunez, Dr. John Hunt, and Dr. Neil Shmunez. You can get them all at Shmunez Vision. You can also go to Instagram. Get the very latest as far as testimonials. Just go to Shmunez Vision.
It sure is great living in the golf capital of the world.
Blue skies, fresh cut grass, birds chirping.
1010XL, Jacksonville's golf station.
Geez, you love this golf stuff, huh? Oh, yeah.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Hey, I've got that craving again. How about some Mr. Chubby's wings?
Have you had the Chubby style wings? Grilled to perfection with Chubby's secret seasoning.
You know I have. They are so delicious. I swear you can't find anywhere in town with better wings and better prices on drinks.
So many different specials each night, too. Well, I'm ready to chub it up again.
Me too.
See all their specials at MrChubby'sWings.com. Locations on Fleming Island, the West Side, and Ponte Vedra Beach. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
Take a radio boat ride with Captain Cabin on the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show. Reeled in by the Pest Pros at Royal Pest Services and awaken 180 weight loss.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler, and this Mother's Day, we'd like to help you celebrate Mom with up to 40% off our entire inventory. GIA-certified natural diamonds and lab-grown diamonds, beautiful colored gemstones, designer brands, custom jewelry design, and Monahan Jewelers offers interest-free financing on any purchase, so get something special with a payment you can afford. Come celebrate Mom with fine jewelry at up to 40% off at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Feel the power. Hear the legend. One Night of Queen, performed by Gary Mullen and the Works. The look, the sound, the electrifying showmanship of one of rock's greatest bands. One Night of Queen, April 29th at Florida Theater. Get your tickets now at floridatheater.com.
Spring is here. Is your yard ready? Lucas Tree Service, a family-owned business with over 45 years of experience, is Jacksonville's certified arborist for safe tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for homes and businesses. Protect your property, boost your curb appeal, and enjoy expert service you can trust. Keep your trees healthy and safe before summer arrives. Schedule your inspection today at lucastreeservice.com.
What percentage of your body weight is comprised of blood? The answer next.
When your homeowner's insurance policy is up for renewal, it's a good idea to shop around to find a better plan. Southern Oak Insurance for over 20 years provides Floridians a clear option. SouthernOak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Blood comprises approximately 8% of your body weight. Same for your head, which generally weighs about 10 pounds.
Southern Oak Insurance, our family protecting yours.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank. My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296, Ryan Salem, NMLS ID 1182429, Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
Hey there, ET here with 1010XL. And here's a little how to be cool secret. No need to wait for an anniversary or a birthday. I just simply dial up Kuhn Flowers and send someone something special for absolutely no reason. It's really fun. And I can do it online at kuhnflowers.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Love some old school Who, kind of like the Kinks. Their songs are like 2.5 minutes long. I mean, you can thank the Beatles for that, but the whole deal was to get on the radio. That was my deal 35 and a half years ago, and we're still rolling deep into the night. Tonight's show brought to you by the good folks over at the Alexander Law Practice. We'll get there momentarily. What are you watching at night? NBA, NHL, or MLB?
NBA and MLB. The Braves are so good right now. I literally have not missed one Braves game this year. I'm not even exaggerating about that. I've watched at least some days you'll be out and about or traveling or at home in Ocala or whatever, but I'll still catch a few innings of every single game. I try to watch the whole thing. But NBA-wise, I've been very strategic about which series I'm watching. So, like the Magic, I'm not watching that. OKC, I'm not watching that. That's a walkover. Boston, although it's gotten pretty close here.
And they blew a lead last night.
I actually haven't been watching that because I assumed they would run through the Sixers. But, I'm watching every single Lakers game I've watched. Every single, Minnesota and Nuggets game I've watched. And I watched a lot of San Antonio, too. So, I'm not as locked in with the NBA as I have been in years past. I was really turned off by the regular season this year.
Yeah, NBA's quarterly third for me. I've been all over the playoffs in the NHL, and it's going to be spectacular tonight. I mean, Tampa Bay, no place I'd rather be than here. Okay, maybe the Dominican Republic tomorrow. But if I could be in Tampa Bay for tonight's drop of the puck, Game 5 between the Lightning and the Canadiens. My goodness, locked at 2 apiece. That is going to be thrilling. I'll be able to watch the second and third period of that one. Then the Battle of Pennsylvania tonight. Can Pittsburgh remain alive? Can they get it done tonight in Philadelphia? The Flyers up 3-2. Late night, a very good series. Our old friend Bruce Cassidy was a studio guest last evening on TNT. He was fired with 2 weeks to go in the regular season for the Vegas Golden Knights. I mean, they won a Stanley Cup a few years ago. They still were absolutely a playoff team, and they said goodbye to him. So it's the Mammoth tonight against the Golden Knights. So I'll have my eyes all over that. You can find that game on TNT, through TV, or HBO Max.
All three. I love that. I saw Boston big win last night. They're still alive.
Oh, yeah.
You predicted they'd be in Mexico by now.
Oh, yeah. I thought maybe I could meet one of them for a tea time come Friday morning. Have you seen what's going on the text line? At 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Included.
Lots of conflicting opinions.
This would be like asking me, who did you vote for president? Because we would get 50% one side and 50% the other side. I mean, I'm having people that are telling me, absolutely, go in the water. That's the thing to do. Others are saying, hell no, you can't go in there. There's brackish waters. There's bacteria. There's dangerous flesh-eating fish.
Vibrio vulninovus, a dangerous flesh-eating bacteria naturally found in the warm, brackish waters of the Gulf of Mexico.
So I've gotten nowhere. I know what I'll do. I'll ask one of the locals out there in the Dominican Republic. I bet you they'll give me the best advice that I can get.
We'll have some local concoction they like to put on everything.
Hey, listen, I know we have doctors who listen to this show because they chime in whenever I bring up health-related issues. If you just joined us for the first time, I have an open wound here, okay? And it's massive. And I know that when I go in there, it's going to attract sharks. But I'm going to go in for like 5 seconds. I just want to know, is what I'm going to do is lay down and just stick my arm into the waves that come crashing because I'm petrified of sharks. There's no other way to say it. But people are telling me, yes, do it. Get it cleaned out. You'll be fine. Others are like, bro, you're going to have a staph infection. You're never going to be the same. So anyway, if you can help us out, please let us know. All right, let's get to the officials. And I know this is boring for a lot of people, but it's something that is incredibly important that honestly is not getting enough attention as far as I am concerned. And, I understand why, because you only bring up officials when something is wrong. By the way, those hockey officials, those referees, those guys are insane. It reminds me of trying to break up fights when I was a bartender. The best punches and I grew up in Boston where I took a lot of punches, okay? Most punches I ever took in my life was trying to break up fights as a bartender with a bunch of drunk Florida State fans. Or Florida State co-eds. There's no question about it. But that is something right now that needs to be looked at in a very serious fashion. If you have forgotten, and many of you have, they did pass a couple of rule changes that are going to go into place this year. They're going to allow league personnel to consult with on-field officials about disqualifications for, flagrant fouls, non-football acts. For instance, when DK Metcalf went, to the stands and had words with a fan, if you remember that particular story.
Or I bet it'll be like, remember we had a spitter last year. I don't necessarily remember who it was. I think it was the Cowboys game. But plays that, like, the ref won't see, maybe a replay will show. Right. We had Ndamukong Suh back in the day stomping on people's you-know-whats.
No doubt. So that's fine. You hope that, for the most part, these are very sporadic, that, there's only an incident or...
once a year.
Yeah, I mean, you just hope that the threat of this is enough that it won't happen. The officials, for 1 year only, allow the NFL officiating department from New York to correct clear and obvious mistakes made by on-field officials that impact the game. Only if they are replacement officials, okay? It's not going to apply to the regular officials if they reach a new collective bargaining agreement. Again, the league year ends, as far as the officiating, coming up at the very end of May. Something else that has been implemented, they can also let replacement refs throw a flag that shouldn't be thrown, okay? So we talk all the time about a call that wasn't made. How did you miss this call? How did you miss that call? Whatever it may be. If there are replacement officials and they throw a flag, and from the folks in New York who are watching, if they're like, wait a minute, they just called a pass interference there. That what? Go to Travis Hunter against Cincinnati. That late pass interference call, okay? It's a different rule, college to pro. You can have hand-to-hand contact as long as you turn your neck and look back towards the ball. Travis Hunter did, albeit it was late, but he still did it. That was a wrong call. According to the spirit of the new rule, if you have replacement officials and that happens and they throw a flag, you can actually call from New York and say, pick up that flag, wave it off. So that's something else. And they're telling us that mostly that's going to be intentional grounding, roughing the passer, horse collar tackles, pass interference, face mask, whatever. Here's what the NFL wants, and here's really the meat of the argument. The NFL wants accountability. They want off-season reviews, training, practice, classroom work, how to get better, what they did right, what they did wrong, all of that. And the NFL officials are saying, screw that. We're part-time. We have full-time gigs, bankers, lawyers, no matter what it may be. We don't have time for this, out-of-season work. We're not being paid then. And we don't want that to take place. So off-season training is absolutely something that the NFL wants. And what's really interesting about this is the total lack of accountability that officials have, where they're the only people in the NFL where they don't have to answer to anyone. I mean, think about it for a moment. Front office, owner, front office, coach, coaches, players, broadcasters, local media, national media. Everyone in the NFL is under the microscope for things that, for the most part, you do wrong. The only individual in the NFL who escapes all of that are officials. Now, there are times that one pool reporter is allowed to go down and talk to the head referee. But they escape everything else, the constant questions, why'd you call a holding here? Why'd you call a pass interference there? They don't have to answer to any of that. Reportedly, they want more accountability when it comes to the mistakes that they make. They're still not going to reveal that for us publicly to know, but that's basically where the argument is. And they've already said yes to a 6.45% raise. The refs say, nuh-uh, we want a 10% raise. Most who listen will say the big problem is between full-time and part-time. Make them full-time. They have to give up their they have to give up their jobs, and they make a whole heck of a lot of money doing other things in their life. We know that. We get that. That's a tough decision that needs to be made. I think the simple way out of it is make them full-time and they can keep their other jobs as well. I mean, they're really not needed 6 months a year. When you're asked to do some training, go do your training, okay? So anyway, they have to get this done, and hopefully they will. All right, we'll tell you more about the Alexander Law Practice coming up here in just a couple of minutes. I do want to bring in my buddy Rick Shoemaker. The PGA Tour returns to Miami. They return to the Blue Monster. Also coming up in 20 minutes, much more on the Jaguars. John Osher, senior writer, Jaguars.com. he will join us.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
Frank Frangie here. It's Truck Month at Nimnick Chevrolet. Bigger and better than ever. Nimnick Chevrolet is offering supplier pricing for every one of those new Chevy Silverados. The same pricing normally reserved for GM supplier companies, now open to the public. And I'll tell you this, when you deal with Nimnick, it's good folks, man. They're going to treat you right when you buy it. They're going to treat you right after you buy it. They're going to treat you right always. I can guarantee you that. Shop at nimnickchevy.com or head to this dealership at the corner of Park and Castle. Who treats you better? Nobody but Nimnick Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Homeowners, ready to open your home to spring and shut out high energy bills? It's the 1 month only sale with Renewal by Anderson. Right now, buy one, get one 40% off windows and doors. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. But this offer expires April 30th. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Beat the spring cleaning rush and call Zero Res. Hicken here. This is the perfect time to clean those air ducts as you deal with allergy season, furnace and AC efficiency, post-winter, and more. Your air ducts are like the lungs of your home. If they're dirty, your indoor air suffers. Just check out the more than 8,000 Google reviews with a 4.9 rating. This month, take 20% off your whole home air duct cleaning. Pay less for more fresh. Call 287-5727 or go online at ZeroResJacksonville.com and ask for the 1010XL special.
Hi, Frank Frangie here, inviting you to join my wife and me June 22nd of 2027 as we experience the food, wine, and culture of iconic Italy with Colette. Our journey takes us to historic cities and enchanting medieval towns. We'll enjoy a wonderful 7-night stay in the Montecatini Term A famous resort and spa town nestled in the heart of the rolling hills of Tuscany. Visit the cultural treasures of Florence, Pisa, and lovely Lucca. Along the way, we'll discover the food, wine, and old world charm, and even have a special chef-led cooking class. This and so much more. Colette handles the details, flights, hotels, meals, and the local experiences. Your only job is to have the time of your life. Don't miss joining my wife and me in Italy. Now, to learn more, visit 1010XL.com or call Colette at 800-581-8942.
Come away with me.
That's 1010XL.com or call Colette at 800-581-8942.
When my dad tore his meniscus skiing, he was told that surgery was the only fix. But surgery meant giving up his hobbies, so we went to Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. They specialize in non-invasive treatments that get you back to fighting shape. My dad got a platelet-rich plasma, or PRP, injection. It took a fraction of the time to heal, and now he's back to doing what he loves.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes with an opportunity again this year, just in case you haven't taken advantage of it in the past. Take the opportunity to drop 40 pounds by the 4th with Awaken 180. It sounds a little different when you put a real goal to it, doesn't it? To make it easier, Awaken 180 has launched Reclaim by Awaken 180. Reclaim is a simple 10-week plan designed to help you reach your weight and health goals, a beginning and an end and a real finish line. It just makes more sense. I dropped my 40 within 10 weeks, and like I always tell you, it was easy. Reclaim by Awaken 180 arrives at the perfect time for you to reach your 40 by the 4th and then keep it off with free support for life. Any medication, diet, or workout plan will say you'll see the results. But how many will say in 10 weeks you'll be a new version of yourself, thanking the old you for making that call to Awaken 180? 40 by the 4th isn't just a slogan. It's an opportunity to succeed with Reclaim by Awaken 180. Only at awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
All right, we got big news in the world of golf, both on the LIV Tour and, of course, the return of the PGA Tour to Trump National. The Blue Monster in Miami. Let's bring in our buddy Rick Shoemaker. He is the owner and operator of the Wild One. That is Cimarron Golf Club right there on 210. Rick, the last time we talked, your daughter, you were walking her down the aisle. She became a bride. I believe it was in Virginia. How did the wedding go?
Incredible. Nobody ran away, so it was a good time.
Yeah, well, good. It's good to have you back here, and it's obviously turning into a great time of year when it comes to golf. All right, they were supposed to tee off in New Orleans this week, the Live Tour. There's been all sorts of rumors. They've canceled the event. There's even a report out now that says the Live is officially going away. I remember having a conversation with you 2 years ago about this, where you and I were in agreement. Whenever I watched it, it was interesting, and I thought it was a good watch, but I guess when it was all said and done, they just ran out of cash.
Yeah, and look, I think the model of the PGA Tour, and I know I'm preaching all the time about it, but having worked there, just the greatest organization in the world in professional sports. And their model of nonprofit and what they do in these communities, including North Florida, you can't compete against that. And Liv was up against trying to, corral sponsors at 20, 30 million. But what were they gaining from it? And I think that was the big, it wasn't the number of people in the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
It was the aura of sport supporting charities. And so to go up against that model, it was tough, and they ran their course. And I do think it was healthy. It's always healthy to see competition. It opened up the eyes of the tour. I think anyone at the PGA Tour would say that it's made them better. It's made them stronger. I think the players would agree. And the sport will be better for it.
It's depending on how you look at it, because we're such a forgiving society, that this was really brilliant by these guys to make $100+ million to go play for a few years. And, Brooks Koepka's already back. Others now are going to ask their way back to the PGA Tour. And just the way that I look at this, in my opinion, any of those Live guys who come here next March, I don't think there's going to be a grudge that they took that money years ago.
No, I don't think so. I think you've got a few staunch individuals, but for the most part, I think everybody's going to understand it, respect it, and move forward. I mean, the tour's coming up with the model now, and those players, I hate to say, will pay a price, but for lack of a better term, they'll pay a price for what they did. But at the end of the day, they've succeeded in supporting selfishly themselves and their families, is what it's all about at the end of the day, right? You work here at the radio, I work with them on it, and we're trying to better our family. So those players did that, and you can't fault them.
I think it was a $5 million fine for Brooks Koepka, which was donated to charity. You look at Patty Reed, he's tourless at this particular point. But what do you believe here with John Rahm and, the mad scientist, with Bryson DeChambeau and others? What do you think the penalty should be to come back to the PGA Tour?
Again, I think financially you could stick any number on it, right? I mean, that's a difficult one to throw out. I mean, they've landed on $5 million for some reason, and I'm not sure what. But I think the other components of, not being eligible for the FedEx Cup race and the funds at the end of the year, having to earn his way back into this elite group that's playing in these elite events. I think those two things are pretty fair. I mean, these players that are top players, they're going to get back there quickly. If you want a major, I think that trumps all that. Like, winning majors does give you exemptions, and perhaps that should exempt them into these top fields. What is the field now? 72 or 90? What are they cutting it down to when they go to these elite events?
Yeah. Go ahead, continue.
No, I was just saying, how many players is it? I was asking the question. I couldn't remember what they've limited the field to now when they go to these $20 million events.
Yeah, I think it changes each and every event.
90.
Yeah, around here it's huge. I mean, isn't it like 142 or something at the Players Championship? But it is less than it once was on most PGA Tour events. I'm looking here at Doral, and I'm guessing
70 to 80 is most of these.
I'm guessing this is a list of about 80
signature events, they call them.
Yeah, the signature event. And by the way, the ironic aspect is these signature events predominantly, I was going to say only, but predominantly exist because of Live.
Right.
this is one of the key components that the tour had to step back and quickly say, okay, how do we give our players the same amount of opportunity? And these $20 million events quickly came to be because of LIV. So, again, a lot of positive things were born out of it. The players are reaping the benefits. And look, it's their association. I'm not sure too many people realize that, right? The PGA Tour players are representing themselves. They are the association. It's not the NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball, hockey with owners. So it's their association, and selfishly for them, they've been able to coordinate with the home office, we'll say, and open up the piggy banks a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's going to work out well for everyone except for maybe Phil Mickelson. He became kind of a villain going over to the LIV, but whether it's Tyrell Hatton or Patty Reed or Bryson DeChambeau, John Rahm, I mean, they're all going to be welcome back as far as I am concerned. Hey, as far as welcomed back, what about Trump National? The Blue Monster, the PGA Tour, after about 10 years off, does return to South Florida. And what an incredible field right now. When you look at this, a lot on Scotty Scheffler, but what about Cameron Young and what he's been able to do so far this year, especially with his outstanding numbers, both with accuracy and with distance off the tee?
No, absolutely. He is definitely coming into his own, and that win at the Players as he just held on and what's his name, just won twice, fell back a little bit. And, look, those players, it's confidence. Again, these guys, top 100 in the world, it's a fine line between, number 50 and number 10, certainly. And usually number 10 to number 2. The number 1 player usually has these streaks like Scotty and Tiger and such. But for the most part, confidence. They need the confidence. He's got the confidence. It's a great field, and the Blue Monster, it's great to see it. It'll be great to see them playing that 18th hole and to see how they compete there.
Yeah, it's going to be Cameron Young and Scotty Scheffler going off tomorrow at 10:50 a.m., so no doubt that's going to be a featured group, and I know a lot of PGA Tour fans will enjoy that. All right, Rick, I had a buddy the other day kind of hog-tie me and said he wanted to bring a group of about 28 golfers out to Cimarron, and I was like, this was like 48 hours before they wanted to play. I'm like, well, I can't make that happen, but I'm sure I can make it happen a few weeks down the road. Anyway, give us the very latest. What's going on at Cimarron and the Wild One?
No, everyone come one, come all. Again, we've got fantastic weather. We still got another 30-day stretch of it. Still a mild spring. We are actually, we're doing very well. And in fact, we are looking to close our membership. So we're going to be selling memberships through the end of May and then limit our full memberships to a select number of people so we can accommodate them. Not the 72, and they won't be playing for $20 million, but we'll have a select base of memberships. So we're accepting memberships through the end of May. And then starting in May, we're actually going to bring back the Wild One package, the $49, including lunch and a beer on us on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays. People start to see that email. They just need to sign up for the loyalty email. And on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they can book 48 hours out and play Cimarron for $49 in the month of May.
Wow. That is absolutely spectacular. I'm on my way to the Dominican Republic, but when I get back, I'll catch up with you, and I need to get out there and play as well. Hey, Rick, always a lot of fun. Thank you.
No, absolutely. Thank you, Rick.
There he goes, Rick Shoemaker, ladies and gentlemen. Golf career money. John Rahm, $87.7 million. That's what he made on LIV. Joaquin Neiman, $71.6. Taylor Gooch, $68.7. DJ, Dustin Johnson, $64.1 million. Bryson DeChambeau, $58.4. Cam Smith, $50.9. Sergio, $46.4. Brooks Koepka, $44.7. Brendan Grace, $39.3. And Patty Reed, $37.5.
And that was only the winnings.
Right.
That was with
not the appearance. Yeah.
Exactly. So not all of those guys you just named probably made like $100+ million, but at least a few of them did.
No doubt. Best value in town is Cimarron, right off of 210 in the golf club. Again, used to have a really bad reputation. They have totally changed things at Cimarron. Put a ton of money into it, everything from the tee box to the fairway to the greens, brand new clubhouse, indoor, outdoor. Rick flies in live entertainment from Nashville, songwriters, singers. If you haven't been out there, you need to check it out and get to me. Let me know what you think at the Cimarron Golf Club right there on 210. All right, we got much more to do. Rolling with you till 8 o'clock right here on this Wednesday.
There's a reason why people love to listen to play-by-play on the radio.
This is unbelievable what we're witnessing. I'm serious.
1010XL, Jacksonville's home for play-by-play.
Hey, Hickett here, and oh man, TopDressing.com came and hit my lawn with that deep aeration and overseeding. I got to see their truck. Ooh, is that cool? It's like a transformer. Aerators rolling right off it. They punched the yard. They dropped their proprietary mix and cleaned up like they were never there. Next step, rich, green St. Augustine grass. If your lawn needs a real turnaround, call TopDressing.com today for your free estimate. They'll make your grass look like a golf course for real. Call today and top dress your lawn like the pros with TopDressing.com.
Mike Dempsey here for big #1 Duval Ford. Hundreds will gather to walk for those living with ALS at the Walk to Defeat ALS Jacksonville, Saturday, May 2nd, 10 a.m. at Friendship Fountain. Register or donate at als.org/walkjacksonville.
Ackerman Cancer Center is the community leader in cancer treatment, offering advanced proton therapy treatment for cancers near vital organs or complex, hard-to-reach areas. Take charge of your well-being with AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Do you want to grow your career with a company that's committed to growing with you? Florida Home AC has aggressive plans to double their workforce, and they're looking for determined, resourceful people with initiative. Just log on to FloridaHomeAC.com/careers to find out more.
Feel a vibration in your steering wheel at highway speeds? That's not something to ignore, and a standard tire balance might not fix it. At G&H Tires and Service, they offer road force balancing, an advanced system that simulates how your tire actually performs on the road to detect hidden issues. It goes beyond traditional balancing to reduce vibration, improve handling, and extend the life of your tires. Newer vehicles, especially with low-profile tires, demand this level of precision. Drive smoother. G&H Tires and Service on Beach Boulevard, where your ride gets dialed in right.
Hicken here. Experience crystal clear vision with the Eye Associates, formerly Ballou Associates, Schneider Eye and Wellness Center, and Janet Betchkel, MD, Jacksonville's leader in advanced eye care. From routine eye exams to specialized vision care, their experienced team dedicated to improving and preserving your vision. The same care you've come to trust, now with a new name. To schedule your appointment today, call the Eye Associates, formerly Bowden Eye Associates, Schneider Eye and Wellness Center, and Janet A. Betchkel, MD, at 296-0098.
Save up to $400 on Browning gun sales right now at Green Acres Sporting Goods. During the Browning tax refund rebate, get up to $400 back on select safes, built to protect your firearms, valuables, and peace of mind. Green Acres is Northeast Florida's largest Browning dealer, with the selection ready for you today. But don't wait. This offer ends April 30th. Shop now at greenacresporting.com and take advantage before it's gone.
Alert! Alert! Termite swarms are active right now in Jacksonville, and once they get inside, damage can happen fast. Termites don't knock, they silently attack the structure of your home, leaving behind costly repairs and long-term headaches. Protect what you've worked hard for with the proven protection homeowners trust. Terminix, with advanced termite treatment and prevention solutions. Visit Terminix.com and schedule your free termite inspection today.
For 25 years, Instant Keys has been the go-to locksmith service for car keys, transponders, and even high-tech smart locks. For honest, professional locksmith service.
Instant Keys comes to you. 1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I've heard from quite a few now. Doctors self-imposed, which is fine, and also real doctors. I got a text here from Dr. Rick Townsend, who I've played my rounds of golf with over the years, and he says, hey, Rick, you can go in the salt water, no problem. I wouldn't go into brackish Stillwater, you probably ought to get an antibiotic before you head to the Dominican Republic.
You don't have time for that.
I got a 6 a.m. flight.
Yeah, you're leaving in a few hours, bro. Suck it up. Rub some dirt on it. You'll be fine.
Hey, listen, I bet I can get a good antibiotic in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, you can. Over the counter, I'm sure.
So my responsibility so far is to find out if they sell weed in, little stores. I was asked that. I was there a few years ago. I don't remember.
If you get weed there, it's going to be terrible.
Yeah?
It's going to be the swaggiest weed you've ever had in your life.
Well, I'm not
They're going to sell you. You look like a sucker to them. You know what I'm saying? It'll probably be a bag of grass off the street. Or something.
Well, I'm stuffing them in my golf bag, but I want to get good cigars.
Yeah.
In the Dominican Republic. And I'm trying to remember if it was there, if it was a Costa Rica or Jamaica. Sometimes all these, islands or whatever it may be, tropical
Caribbean destinations.
They all run together.
A beach, some sand, locals.
Someone
beers.
walked up to me and handed me like a dozen Cubans. And I don't know what I paid, $100 or whatever it was. And then like this other guy, there's always this smart ass in the crowd, back smoking. He's like, yeah, how are those fake Cubans? I'm like, what are you talking about? I just got it. He goes, that guy, those are not real Cubans. They are, from probably the Dominican Republic or Venezuela or something like that. And they make the labels or get the labels and just stick them right on.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Hey, listen, if a guy's pulling off a hustle, all for it. But here's where I am. I don't know if I would have been able to tell. I still enjoyed the cigar. I'm not one of those who, and I can tell bold from, not bold. And for instance, when I play golf, I've been drinking a lot. I've been smoking a lot of the Olivas because they don't give me a major buzz. If I want a big time buzz, I'll just grab Leon Cersei's cigar. I'll begin smoking it tomorrow morning, and I'll be done with it by the time my trip is over.
Huge. He actually just came out with a new, I don't know what you call it, line, or it's called Draft Day.
Oh, really?
And he just released it last week on Draft Day, on Thursday. Brand new box with and it's third regular size cigars, not like his other one. But yeah, I would highly recommend. You can get it at any shop in town.
I need to get up with Leon about that. I was not aware of it. So anyway, there you go. And that is the very latest. All right, John Osher standing by. He's going to join us here in a couple of minutes. I'll tell you that tonight's program is brought to you by the Alexander Law Practice. If you have been injured in a car accident, you need to contact the practice of Rick Alexander. Okay? For starters, here goes. No consultation fee, no retainer fee. You're not going to be billed for the phone call. You're never going to come out of pocket. If you are physically injured, if your car is beaten up, maybe even totaled, pick up the phone, 400-6600, or better yet, go to the Alexander Law Practice and set up a consultation today. It's all free, okay? You're never coming out of pocket. Rick has spent more than 30 years doing this, and he is involved with every single one of his cases. You're going to get that one-on-one with Rick Alexander. Go to Alexander Law Practice.
Rick Ballou takes you into the night.
He's the actor in the family. Then we got the big guy.
Ryan the Hacker Green.
Yes, and what I most admire is the way you've captured the voice of the common people.
Right after Rick Ballou. Evenings on 1010XL.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey ham, melted cheddar and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Dailies Dash today to get your delicious Duval sub. Dailies is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Listen to whatever you like, whenever you want.
I like this.
1010XL on demand. Ad-free shows after the live shows end. Channeled by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning. Search where you find podcasts.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I can tell you as Walk-Off Charities has grown, we now manage a large athletic facility with numerous fields, including the Bregan Baseball Complex. To get around, we needed a good, reliable golf cart. I went straight to Dynamic Drives and Design in Jack's Peak. I met with Travis, told him exactly what our needs were. Would you believe before you knew it, the perfect cart was delivered to us at an incredible price? If you need a golf cart, Travis and his team are the go-to. Learn more about them at dynamicdrivesdesign.com.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Free Comic Book Day is going nuclear this Saturday, and Gotham City Limit is blowing up. Meet legendary artist Aaron Bartling, score massive sales, grab free comics, and soak in the good vibes of the hobby. Follow us on all socials and take Free Comic Book Day to the limit.
Hey Jacksonville, this is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, proud partner and orthopedic specialist of Jacksonville. We're honored that the Jacksonville Icemen rely on our team for their sports medicine and orthopedic care. We built this practice with one mission, to raise the bar for orthopedic care right here in our hometown. Faster access, smarter treatment plans, and better results. Whether you're recovering from a sports injury or managing joint pain, we're here to help you get back in the game, stronger and pain-free. Visit osjax.com to learn more. That's osjax.com.
The long goodbye begins. A very special evening with Journey. Final Frontier Tour. Saturday, May 16th. ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena. Journey. Tickets are on sale now at journeymusic.com. Your chance to say goodbye to the songs that changed our lives. Journey. Final Frontier Tour.
When it comes to glass, you don't want average. You want flawless. Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow. Mirrors cut exactly to your style. Fogged or broken glass replaced. Decorative tabletops. Windows replaced or repaired to stand up to Florida storms. All backed by a 100% guarantee. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote. There's only one name for glass and mirror around these parts. It's Duval!
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
Did you know that an annual coating inspection can extend the life of your building by years? Catching early signs like hairline cracks, fading, and moisture intrusion helps prevent costly repairs down the road and keeps your property looking its best. Our team at Performance Painting helps you stay ahead of maintenance with professional inspections and long-lasting coating solutions. Protect your building, protect your budget. Go to performance-painting.com to schedule a free inspection. Performance Painting, repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting. 1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
John Osher, our guest, each and every Wednesday night, senior writer at Jaguars.com. He joins us right here on the home of the Jags. What do you say, John?
Go Bruins, Rick. They're back in it.
They are. They absolutely
was,
are. And I'm going to read the text you sent me right now. Yeah, that was quite a goal by Pasternak, no doubt about it.
Well, you watch more hockey than I do, but what a picture-perfect move in the moment, right? I mean, just, to fake the goalie like that. You always see guys try it, but you don't often see the goalie completely out of position after the fake and an easy shot in that moment. I mean, to save the season, that's The Bruins have a long history, but that's got to be up there recently with big-time moments.
There's no doubt. I mean, it was a short side because he was coming in on the right, his right, coming towards the goalie. And, there was a defender, closing in. So I thought he was going to go full and, maybe go with a backhander, but instead he brought it back and obviously did have the short side wide open. But we keep seeing it night after night. I hope we get it tonight as well. There's nothing better than sudden death playoff hockey.
Yeah, it's been a good. I've sort of been 75% engaged, but the games I've seen, it never disappoints.
No,
it's we say it all along. Most people who watch it get addicted to it because it's so good.
Yeah. All right. Now that you've had, I guess, 3 days to fully digest what the Jaguars did over the weekend, 10 players added to this roster, another 18 undrafted free agents. What did you make of this year's draft class?
Look, I get the noise around it, and I get what the pundits are saying. What I can tell you is I have no idea how good this class will be, and they don't either because nobody ever does. So I'll start there. But when I look at a draft with that as the backdrop, I always try to figure, okay, what are they doing? And to me, it looked like you didn't have a top 50 pick, so you're probably not going to get immediate impact starter at a traditional position. So they clearly believed that they needed to add a wrinkle to this offense in the sense of being able to go 2 and 3 tight end sets.
Mm-hmm.
And they had some work to do during the draft. They set out to do that. I think for them, anything else they got done was secondary to let's make sure that we can lean into this way that teams are playing. And that, Rick, they couldn't do last year as much as they wanted. And I guess for people who didn't like the draft, I would say this. Remember the end of the Houston game when they couldn't get a first down?
Yeah.
And to me, now you have one more wrinkle in your offense to be more efficient in that situation. I think that was the approach, and we'll see on the rest of it, but I think they got that done. So I understood what they were doing. All the noise with the pundits, we don't have enough time for me to go on about how ridiculous the whole draft consensus 150 GM should look at the mock drafters draft before they draft. It's absurd. We can spend the whole show on it if you want, but I just think that part of it is sort of built on this internet draftnik age. And I get that people are going to pay attention to it, but teams can't.
Yeah. We don't have time to go through the entire list. So I want to ask you, and I'll give you mine first, and I'll ask you about an intrigue here. Again, we have no idea what to expect, but Tanner Koziel with, all the balls that he has caught in his career, and to see him at 6'6.5" or 6'7", 240 pounds. Out of all the guys out there, I want to see him, but here's a young man that I am especially intrigued about.
Yeah, and it sort of comes down to this. My impression is they did a lot of work on him. He can catch. Obviously, if he can catch like that, the question is, does his body type translate, and can he block in this system? That's obviously going to be the question. You don't know that until you start blocking NFL guys. They believe that he can be coached toward that to be enough of a blocker to be an impact in the passing game. In the 5th round, if that doesn't work out, every guy you take in the 5th round has an element that tells you, hey, this may be enough where he doesn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
That's the nature of the 5th round. But the high end, I was told by somebody yesterday, he can really catch, and he's got really good skills in the passing game. What you hope is that it translates to the NFL. But if those two guys this is the first time in franchise history 2 tight ends in one draft, and both of them in the first 5 rounds, that to me makes tight ends the absolute storyline. If what they're trying to do there works, it's a successful draft. If it doesn't, then hopefully you get some contributors who can contribute, a year or two down the road.
Yeah. Interesting point. No question about it. John Osher, our guest, senior writer, Jaguars.com. All right. You and I talked about, the rumor of trading up for a running back. We didn't see that happening. You and I went over how we felt as though they were fine at defensive back. What did you get out of the fact that this team did not go after, an off-the-ball linebacker with Ventrell Miller there? Reportedly they could possibly, slide over Parker Hughes and give him some reps, but that there's a 7th-round rookie. What did that say to you confidence-wise in Miller?
They're fine with Miller. They don't consider it a position that is, trading up into the first round to go get one of these guys or trading up. They didn't think it was that. They didn't consider the position or the need extreme enough to do that. Remember, Ventrell Miller was a co-starter going into last season with Devin Lloyd. I know people don't want to believe this because Devin Lloyd had the interception, but there is just not a belief in the building that they're going to have a drop-off with Ventrell Miller replacing Devin Lloyd. And you may not get the interception, but as an overall, with their defense, they believe they're fine there. And if they didn't believe they were fine there, they'd have gone after it and tried to replace it.
Mm-hmm.
I think they explored the idea of moving up, but I think that was more about, hey, can we get an edge? Can we figure out a way to impact the passer more? But as James Gladstone said on the Ozone podcast this week, they were going to have some serious parameters because they just didn't believe that the cost of moving up was going to be worth the benefit. And they wanted to keep all 10 picks to have the at-bat. And like that strategy or not, that was their strategy, and they were sticking to it.
All right. Last question for you, and let's get to the second, third-round pick, number 88, Emmanuel Pregnon, guy that many thought would go, late first round. And it's hard to win a job when you don't hit in camp, but those same pundits who have really criticized this class say this is the best pick, and he's got a chance to be a starter, perhaps even a day one starter. That would surprise me because of what I just mentioned. What are your thoughts, though, about this, young offensive guard?
It would surprise me because I think the Jags want to get into the routine, and I think we've talked about it this offseason, of having their starting line, then drafting a guy who can develop for a year and be ready to really go in the second year. That would apply to anybody who's not a first-round pick. That was the approach that they took with Milam last year. The injury hurt, but I think they liked that approach. I think Milam will push Macari. I think Pregnon, if he really accelerates, then obviously he can push for a starting job. But I think it's more likely that he is there ready to play this year and gets a chance to replace Ezra Cleveland going forward with Ezra in the latter part of his deal. That could change. You never know how a season changes that. I think they like the idea of having big-time talent with a year to develop on the offensive line. That's what teams ideally do, and it's hard to get in that situation because there's usually a need.
Yeah.
But my sense is that's how you would love to have it play out. Circumstance in the NFL often prevents you from having it play out the way you want. But they love Pregnon, and I'll let a Bucky Brooks from my podcast today sort of end it. If Pregnon had been the second-round pick and the defensive tackle had been the third-round pick, people would have loved the draft, Rick.
That's a fair point. That absolutely is. I would agree with that. Make sure you read everything from John Osher and his staff. Just go to Jaguars.com. He is the senior writer. John, I'll miss you next week. I'll be in the Dominican Republic. Enjoy all the hockey.
Do they get the NHL network down there, Rick?
You know what? I think I can get it on my phone. I don't know. We'll find out, but I certainly hope so.
Stay alive. That's a big topic.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, buddy.
See you, John. There he goes. So first time ever the Jaguars have drafted 2 tight ends. I just looked it up. Back in 2010, the Patriots selected Rob Gronkowski with the 42nd pick overall. Imagine that. They also selected another tight end in that draft. Any idea who that was?
Mr. Aaron Hernandez.
It was.
What a 1-2 punch they were.
Aaron Hernandez
unstoppable,
was so
man.
good.
So
man.
athletic, just a freak, man.
They drafted Gronkowski at 42. The Jaguars take Bo Kircher at 56. The Jaguars took, the Patriots took Aaron Hernandez at 113. Of course, Koziol went at number 164. Gronkowski, 621 receptions, 9,286 yards, 92 touchdowns. Hernandez, 175 receptions, 1,956 yards, 18 touchdowns. Look at the rest of the draft. Devin McCourty went in the first round. Very good career.
3 for 3.
Then they went to Florida, back-to-back. Jermaine Cunningham and Brandon Spikes.
Spikes was awesome.
He really was. Cunningham had a taste. Taylor Price in the third round, wide receiver out of Ohio, caught 5 balls for 80 yards.
I mean, they were the worst franchise at drafting receivers in the history of football.
7th round pick that year, Brandon Dedrick. Yeah, he gave him quite a bit of playing time. So there you go. But I was just wondering, 2 tight end selections in one draft, and that was the first one that pulled up back in 2010.
Hopefully, Koziol will be like Aaron Hernandez on the field.
Yes.
Of course.
No doubt about it. 9008, Ballou, be careful drinking the alcohol in the Dominican Republic. Several people have died drinking bad liquor.
Okay, so I read the article he sent. I wouldn't be too concerned. The alcohol they're talking about is like, it's poor locals buy it. They know what they're getting into when they're buying. It's not like they're pouring that in a bottle of tequila that you think is tequila or something. I wouldn't stress that. You're not drinking what that guy's talking about.
We always go to Sandals, but we're going to Hard Rock this year.
Nice. Yeah. Very nice. So they'll definitely have the NHL on.
Well, I was just saying they'll definitely have weed. If it's going to be at a Hard Rock, they'll be selling it, on the sidewalk as you walk in. Is it Punta Cana?
Okay.
I've never been to that part of the Dominican Republic, so I'm looking forward to going. But I appreciate all you people out there looking out for me. 0602. Go grab a Neosporin on the way home. Best over-the-counter antibiotic.
Yeah, there was a fisherman who said you should wait till it starts to scab and then get in the water, and it helps the healing. But before that, no bueno.
I ripped the scab off. It popped. I ran into a chair.
Yeah.
Stone sober. 0981, Rick, do you think they would have let Cleveland or Macari sit on the bench making millions to start Pregnon if he's playing? Yes. If he's playing better, absolutely. No doubt about it. Those two, this is it for them both. If you look at the Jaguars, even though Macari signed through 27, it's a final year for Macari. Ezra Cleveland is in a contract year. They're not high on Walker Little. That was a Trent Baalke signing. You have 2 years left with Anton Harrison. I happen to think this is going to be it for Robert Hainsey, that Jonah Monheim is going to be your starter in 2007. I wouldn't be surprised at all if you saw the 2027 offensive line look like this. Cole Van Lannon, Pregnon, Monheim, Wyatt Milam, Anton Harrison in 2027. You got the 2026 season ahead of you. And every single snap on the offensive line this past year, they're all back. Now, I think Chuma Edoga is going to get cut. I just don't see that happening. They say goodbye to Cooper Hodges. He didn't play it all last year, as we know. So let's head to this break. We talk all the time about how the contracts are up for Parker Washington, Brenton Strange, Antonio Johnson, right? And they extended the 5th year for Anton Harrison. They got a deal done with Trayvon Walker. Also next year, Ventrell Miller. final year of his deal. Again, Ezra Cleveland, final year of his deal. Devon Hamilton, final year of his second contract. Eric Armstead. Some thought that maybe it would be it. I mean, Albert Regis, they make the trade for Oro Roro. Is that enough? Probably. Yasir Abdullah, Tim Jones, Ross Matisic, Nick Mullins, Hunter Long, another guy that is kind of caught up in a numbers game, Hunter Long, to make this team. So that is what is up at this particular point as far as free agents in the year.
Live it, love it, share it. What is this? 1010XL.
Make Capital Glass and Shower Doors your premier choice for top-quality glass solutions. With over 40 years of expertise, their team specializes in commercial and residential projects. From elegant shower doors to modern frameless enclosures, they've got you covered. But that's not all. They also offer glass railing systems, glass wine cabinets, and much more. For unmatched quality and service, choose Capital Glass and Shower Doors. Your vision, their expertise. Visit online at capcoglass.com.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick. We're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by May 14th.
Southwest Greens is the OG of artificial turf in North Florida. Stop mowing and start chipping or putting or just relaxing with a beautiful backyard, maintenance free. Log on to southwestgreensofjacksonville.com to see what they can do to your backyard.
Looking for an exciting, fun-filled evening your whole group can enjoy? Discover the thrill of indoor football. Fast-paced, action-packed, and full of family fun. Be there as your Sharks take on the New Mexico Chupacabra Saturday, May 2nd at the VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. Kickoff, 7 o'clock. Don't miss the action-packed halftime performance by Showtime USA. Ask about our family 4-packs. 4 tickets and $50 in food vouchers, all for only $100. To purchase tickets, go to jacksharks.com or call 904-621-0700. That's 904-621-0700. It's Education Appreciation Night, presented by the University of North Florida. All teachers, administrators, and school staff get our special buy one, get one free ticket deal. Join us on the field after the game for our free autograph session, sponsored by Flight Adventure Park. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours today at 621-0700. That's 621-0700. Sharks football, where memories are made.
Go Sharks! Catch Gators baseball all season long on 1010XL. Pitched by the personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah, Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville, and Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
Spring is here. Is your yard ready? Lucas Tree Service, a family-owned business with over 45 years of experience, is Jacksonville's certified arborist for safe tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for homes and businesses. Protect your property, boost your curb appeal, and enjoy expert service you can trust. Keep your trees healthy and safe before summer arrives. Schedule your inspection today at lucastreeservice.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Uh-oh! Here comes Montreal. 1-0 early. They have solved the problem of Andre Vasilevsky. It's Brendan Gallagher. Brendan Gallagher centering a line that consists of Tall Dan Haggerty, Colin McFillin, Dickie O'Brien, and Colin Farrell. There you go. Not a lot of Irish names in the National Hockey League. Let me look this up. I'm sure Gallagher's from Canada. He's from Edmonton. So there you go. 1-0. And I kind of hope there's a few whistles here because I want to get back and watch the second and third period. It's going to be a great night in the NHL for those who are in tune. Coming up in about 10 minutes. Make that 15. Will be Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. The Flyers trying to close it out tonight at home. And then the Mammoth and the Golden Knights will play tonight in Las Vegas. Wow. I mean, the pregame in Las Vegas. You ever seen that before? What they do pregame before a Golden Knights hockey game?
I remember their inaugural year, or maybe it was the year after when they won the Cup. And yeah, they were doing like all kinds of Vegas-y acts as their pregame ritual or whatever. Like every single game, it was something new. It wasn't the same thing.
The aforementioned, well, let's throw you and I in there as well, along with Brendan Gallagher, Tall Dan Haggerty, Colin McFillin, and Dickie O'Brien. Put it this way. The entire pregame that they do, you and I would both, in all of them, would finish 2 24-ounce beers in the time that it took to finish that pregame ceremony. When they dropped the puck, we'd have to go back to the beer line.
I hate stuff like that. There's nothing worse than like an NBA game. It's supposed to start at 10:30, right? And you tune in, you keep watching. It's like the third commercial break, and the tip-off's like 10:52.
No. Yeah. You know, and it all depends what it is. You know, I kind of enjoy the national anthem. Certainly it's great when you're live and you're there.
Yeah.
I know I used to stand up as a kid watching the Big Bad Bruins and always supported that. But some of the other, you know, it's like last second commentary. You know, it's Chris Sims is out now.
I heard, and okay. So there's
Chris Sims, let's hear from you. Jason Garrett, let's hear from you. Last second, Tony Dungy, let's hear from what changes in the last second?
There's 6 people on that booth. Okay. Did you hear and have you seen the conspiracy on why Chris Sims is out? It's juicy.
Wait a minute. Give me a second here. I think I did. Dungy is out. Tomlin is in. Chris Sims. What?
It has something to do with a very recent event in the NFL. I mean, this isn't being reported as fact, but he has a show every day with a Florio. He's like part of PFT.
Right.
Like they have a show in the morning every day.
Is it the Rossini thing?
Exactly.
Because Florio refused to acknowledge that. I saw that viral.
Yes. So a couple days ago, or it's probably been a week at this point, in that show, Chris Sims starts to talk about the Rossini thing or whatever and brings up other coaches. And quickly, Florio shuts it down. And I don't know if you've noticed, but not only Florio, but it's ESPN, it's CBS. Like all the big wigs that cover the NFL have not touched the Rossini story whatsoever.
It's NFL mafia.
So there's been somebody from up high that's let everybody know, don't say nothing about this. So my conspiracy theory ears were tingling when I heard that Chris Sims, after a week ago, being chastised on his own show by Florio for talking about that. Now all of a sudden he's out of a gig with NBC.
So he becomes the fourth person.
It could be a coincidence, but it might not be.
Yeah, the young lady who went a tad bit overboard when she said, "I've never slept with anyone to get information." The writer from USA Today
and
the 2 Boston hosts.
She wasn't exactly a huge name in the media.
No, the 2 Boston hosts.
WEI.
Right. And now, I mean, depending on what you look at, all right, it's all over the internet that links Rossini with a couple of other NFL coaches. Again, this is not coming from me. This is stuff that you can find on social media. And I'm looking at something here where reportedly 2 other Boston hosts, Adam Jones and Tim Keefe, recently revealed that within the NFL circle, the Patriots will fully aware of the Vrabel-Rossini relationship over the past half decade, and they still hired him as the coach.
Yeah, I wouldn't find that hard to believe at all, because if these people are, and it's not just the Patriots knew about it, I bet so many people in the media knew about it. I mean, it was that they were hiding in plain sight. You know, there was so many things that we've seen on the internet between these two from a long time ago. So There was a picture from 2020, I guess. They were in a New York bar together. So you can't keep something like that secret in a business like this. So do I blame the Patriots for still hiring him? Absolutely not. I mean, I don't think that has affected his ability to coach. They just went to the freaking Super Bowl last year.
He's not gonna get let go.
He just got a standing ovation at some fan event yesterday, I believe.
It's such a double standard because Rossini's just getting crushed, and
but that was her job, is to be an unbiased reporter. It's not his job. He has a totally different job. I don't see the double standard here.
Maybe a bad analogy, but do you remember 25 years ago when the X-rated tape came out with Tommy and Pamela?
Of course.
Okay.
On the boat.
Look at the reaction.
Who can forget? Young JJ certainly didn't forget that.
Look at the reaction.
I get what you're saying.
Of the concept. It was like all of a sudden, Pamela Anderson is
this and
just
that.
awful. I mean, how could she do that? Even though it was her husband. This and that. And what was
Tommy's
Tommy
a
Lee?
rocker.
He's a freaking
badass.
stud.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. He's the biggest. It's just,
Exactly.
It's almost the same thing here. It's where I said this, and some people question me that publicly and privately, you're going to get different responses. He earned some street cred in the locker room.
With some. Yeah.
With some. Others are totally up against it. But when it gets to Diana Rossini, I mean, she is getting absolutely lambasted from every single direction.
I'll give you that. In that case, definitely a double standard. I'm just talking job-wise. Like, I think she deserved to lose her job because of it.
Yeah.
I don't think he does.
Yeah.
But, yes, the reaction from the public, she's a this, she's a that, him, not so much. Although, I have seen a lot of people, like, morally disturbed by him. Especially when it came out that his wife had cancer a couple years ago. And it's like, dude, that's especially when you need to man up, call off your side chick thing, and be a good husband. And he didn't. And he just doubled down. And that to me really, really crossed the line.
Well, and everything we have talked about has been reported by others, okay? But I don't think the end is near. I think more and more is coming. I mean, I would be very surprised. All it takes is one person to come on out and say that something else has happened here. We know of the rumors and things have been said about, Rossini and others, but there hasn't been anyone of substance who has put his name on it. You bring up a good point. People have clearly been jammed up on this. I mean, look at the Coldplay.
Oh yeah.
Video of that relationship between a CEO and someone
HR
else.
lady, yeah.
Everyone go back. ESPN, the whole world commented on that. Well, you've got the exact same thing that's happened
with the head coach.
And you got major sports entities that will not touch it, and you have others who have touched it. 3 we know have lost their job because of it, and this 4th one with Chris Sims, we don't. I wasn't. You mentioned that we don't know if that's fact.
No, and we probably never will.
No, I mean you can't say anything on this.
It's very weird. Is it because she is? Like, part of me at first thought they don't want to say anything about her because she used to work for ESPN and maybe they're friendly with her and they just don't, like, on a personal level, you don't want to go in public and talk about someone that you have a friendship with like that. But now I've realized it's much more than that. It's from on high. It's an NFL thing.
You know what's really surprising about this is, for the most part, everyone likes Diana Rossini. As far as like media colleagues.
Oh, she was on every show.
Yeah, she's a very likable person. Right. Now, the NFL fans, that's a totally different story. And I've always admitted that I have an agenda because of the way she handled the Doug Marrone deal. I mean, she came out and said he was going to get fired, and she was wrong, and she laughed at it. And That just drove me crazy. I mean, just own it. You got it wrong. I mean, we all get things wrong. And she laughed and got promoted. And, then a couple of years later, she made the move over to The Athletic. But she's almost been protected by people of her status in the NFL. If you were to name the top 50 NFL media types,
insiders
all over the country, I don't think one has said a word negatively. So they like her, they respect her, but I will also say I don't think they were surprised.
No way.
By what is happening.
If these guys are such insiders, they definitely know the most inside story that's happening.
Yeah.
You can't. We all work in this business. It would be like if two people at this place were having an affair. Like, we would know. That's just we are around it all the time.
Yeah.
These people knew, man.
No, I absolutely agree with that part. No doubt about it. And you know what? She's dealing with this, and I hate it for the kids involved.
Absolutely.
Because I've gone through a divorce, and I had kids, and it wasn't because of that reason. But it's still awful on the kids. And
hers are young, too.
With the internet, that's never going to go away.
Oh, yeah.
That's always going to be there. Unfortunately, when you put her name in Google, that's going to be the first thing now that always pops up. But she's going to land on her feet. She's going to get a good gig. She's going to write a book. She's going to make a ton of money.
She's going to have a podcast.
She's going to make a ton of money. She's going to come out of this smelling like a rose. She's just dealing with, right now, unfortunately, a very difficult time.
There are many ways to experience 1010XL.
The key to this whole thing is their computer.
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
Get me that computer program.
Yes, sir.
At 1010XL.
Yeah, I know how awful it is to get injured, but not like my friend Tom, who got rear-ended last year. Tom McMahon is here. Morgan & Morgan can help you. They're the largest personal injury law firm in the nation. 1,000 lawyers, 100 offices across the nation, and over $30 billion recovered. And guess what? They don't get a single penny unless you do. A proven track record with backup. Hard to find these days, but not with Morgan & Morgan. For the people, that's right. Get injured due to someone's neglect, get paid. Dial Pound Law or check out forthepeople.com.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is now offering ortho walk-in appointments. If you have an immediate need for orthopedic care, contact Southeast Orthopedic Specialist immediately. Avoid ERs and urgent care waiting rooms. For more information, go to se-ortho.com.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itppartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
Ballou here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, buddy. Why so glum?
Stinky ice cubes, Jason. It's all downhill from here.
What?
The tap water at my place smells kind of funky. Funky tap water makes funky ice cubes. I meet a nice girl, invite her back to my place for a cocktail, and blow my whole romantic gesture with a mojito that smells like dog's feet.
Wait, I can totally make you way cooler.
I'm not taking your charity ice cubes, Jason. I have my pride.
Your pride is safe. Our plumbers can be at your house the day you call and install a whole home water purification system. Water tastes better, dishes come out cleaner, Even your hair feels better after you shower.
Ooh, the ladies love a man with soft hair, don't they, Jason?
Life moves pretty fast. If you spend every day worried about the water in your own home, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Youth sports at the YMCA's focus on teamwork, discipline, and building confidence. Our experienced coaches can create a positive and supportive environment where your kids can grow, stay active, and develop a love for sports. Sports like basketball, volleyball, swimming, gymnastics, and even elite skills training. Join the fun and register. Give your kids a chance to be a part of something special. Visit fcymca.org to learn all about youth sports at the Y.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative, letting you know that Hardball now offers web stores, so your employees can order their own branded gear, and you have more time for Wordle. Check it out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
Well, we spoke quite a bit about it early in the program. There are indications of continued progress between the NFL and the NFL officials. Their collective bargaining agreement ends at the end of May. The NFL did announce that they distributed crew assignments to officials. Now, that did not include possible replacement officials. They were not given those assignments, but we do know as well that they will begin training potential replacement officials coming up on Friday. Now, I'm just thinking of all the money that is going to be spent to fly in these officials, teach these officials. Why not just take that money and give it to already established NFL officials? So I don't, they want to say it's money. I think it's more than money. 6.45% is what they want to give them, which is a nice raise. They want 10%, but I think it's more about accountability, full-time, part-time, and, that whole ridiculous part of it as far as seniority, getting playoff jobs in the Super Bowl. That is wrong by the officials. You have to go by who rated best. Get it done. They got a month. Hopefully that is the case. What do you have over there tonight?
I got a prize, folks. I got a family 4-pack to women Sporting Jacks. They play Brooklyn FC at Hodges Stadium. That is May the 3rd. It's coming up. Or B-Car number 4. B-Car number 4 right now at 641-1010, and I'll hook you up. Family 4-pack.
All right. That sounds great.
Weather should be nice this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Folks, I think it's a little bit of rain, which we need desperately.
Yeah. We do. Maybe I'll bring it back from the Dominican Republic with me. I believe I'm responsible for coming back from the desert of Arizona, and it hasn't rained since back in February. So maybe I can bring some rain with me.
It really hasn't.
This is amazing today. Aziz got a 3-year deal, and he's a very good football player. And I was reading Ian Rappaport today, who then went on to say it's a nice payday for the big-time defender and the Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee.
Love it.
Okay? And it got me thinking. I remember years ago, I think it was like 2010, 2011, I'm sitting with my girls, and I'm watching the Kids' Choice Awards on Nickelodeon, okay?
With the slime.
Right. But they brought up like some huge award that I don't know what it was termed, Woman of the Year or whatever. And one of the nominees was Kim Kardashian.
No.
And I'm like, wait a minute.
Kids.
You've got to be kidding me. This is kids. And I'm thinking, there are moms and dads all across the country right now. Imagine the dad, because newspapers were around in 2010. Imagine the dad sitting on the lazy boy, not really paying attention. The kids are watching the Choice Awards, and he's getting caught up on the stocks and everything else. And all of a sudden you hear the name Kim Kardashian. You just take the newspaper and you're like, what?
Mommy, what's she famous for?
The kid choice. Kind of the same way I felt about Aziz. Sometimes the NFL, man, how can you nominate this guy after what he did? Now, okay, I'm single-minded. He could be a very good dude in the community and does a lot of charity in the community. But here from Houston all the way to Duval, when I think of this man, I think of one thing. I just got a text on it, too, just reminding us of really how gutless that team was when Trevor went down.
Oh, Doug. Yeah.
Doug Peterson,
absolutely.
the coach, the players. Why do I totally believe that if a similar incident happened now, this staff and this team would react the way they should have reacted when Aziz popped Trevor Lawrence?
And the worst part about it was they were like, I guess you could say, taking the high road. And when I say they, I mean like Doug Peterson to the media, expecting the Texans to, be apologetic about it. Then they weren't at all. It was just like, wow, look, now you guys look like even more stupid, even more stupid. And then Aziz made it, of course, his apology was like a fake apology, and he turned it into a racial thing. So the guy's just a piece of, like on and off the field. So, yeah, of course he's the man of the year.
I don't want to word this wrong, but the way that D'Amico Ryans and the way that Nick Cesario handled the Aziz situation was spectacular. Because
it was all like protecting the team.
They knew, the whole world knew that he was 100% wrong. He was guilty. And D'Amico Ryans and Nick Cesario came up and said, watch this.
Yeah.
Watch this. And if you were a Houston fan, you had to have been like, this is incredible. They know that they're wrong, but they're going to defend their player anyway. And then you looked at the way that Doug Peterson and the people around here handled that. It was just bogus. I'm totally convinced now that if anything like that ever happened again, that Liam Cohen and this football team would do something about it. And I think that's probably a pretty good thing for you to understand, because it was just awful what we witnessed a couple of years ago. Okay, once again, the giveaway for soccer coming up this weekend.
Call 641-1010. I got a family 4-pack to see women's sporting Jacks play Brooklyn FC at Hodges Stadium.
There you go. Hacker Nation's going to join you at 8.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Ace Carline here for Atlantic Infinity, and yes, I'm still loving my new QX60. Right now, you can lease one or lock in just 1.9% financing for 60 months, and every new Infinity comes with the Atlantic Infinity Promise. That's over $7,000 in added value. That's one of many reasons why I bought mine there. No pressure, no games, just a great experience. Make your next ride an Infinity from Atlantic Infinity. Visit AtlanticInfinity.com or the showroom near Atlantic and St. John's Bluff.
When you're injured, you need more than legal advice. You need someone who truly cares. I'm Chris Campione, and at Campione Law, I take pride in what we do. You're never just another case. We take the time to listen, guide you through the process, and fight for your recovery every step of the way. And remember, you pay nothing unless we win. Zip, nada, nothing. Learn more at CampioneLaw.com. Offices, Jacksonville and St. Augustine.
Count on Campione Law.
Picken here. See clearly with the Eye Associates and trusted optometrists Zachary Boskool and Alice LaFlamme. From comprehensive eye exams, dry eye care, glaucoma management, diabetic eye care, and more, Dr. Boskool and Dr. LaFlamme are dedicated to protecting your vision. Immediate availability at all 5 Jacksonville locations. Schedule today with Dr. Boskool and Dr. LaFlamme by calling the Eye Associates, formerly Bowden Eye Associates, Schneider Eye and Wellness Center, and Janet Betchkel, MD, at 296-0098.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by May 14th.
Hey, Jacksonville DDH. Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your National Builder of the Year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99% in homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dreamfinders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dfhsalesevent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
I'm with Greg from Cycles in Jacksonville, and Triumph is a known name when it comes to beautiful rides on the road. What is the latest from Triumph?
Well, if you didn't come, we had an unleashing at the dealership last week. We saw 6 new models from Triumph. Anything from 400 cc's to 1200 cc's. If you're looking at a bike, you got to look at the new Triumphs.
Experienced riders will love it.
And the inexperienced will love it. We've got something for everybody in the Triumph lineup. Great, great motorcycles.
Showroom waiting for you. Triumph. Find them at Cycles of Jacksonville on Atlantic near Regency.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
And that concludes the Joe C. Jack of All Trades show. Tune in next week where I'll be installing my own French drain.
Joe, wake up, man.
Hey, John, I must have dozed off.
We finished those projects you started.
Whoa, my seamless gutters are actually seamless.
And they're connected into underground PVC drain lines.
And my sprinklers. Wow, look at that coverage.
Next time, just call me first, Joe.
I will, but I ain't singing that song.
Clearwater irrigation
and drainage too.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
All right, before we bring in Hacker Nation, we have a winner to the women's soccer game coming up this weekend.
We do. Congratulations to... I just forgot his name.
Oh, okay. But you wrote it down. And that's all that matters.
Michael.
Michael! There you go, Michael. Have a fun time with you and the family. What's going on?
I am happy to report a little breaking news here from the Mandarin Athletic Association.
Uh-oh.
The Mud Dogs were a playoff winner tonight. And not only that, as they advance to the championship game, this time of year, Rick, it's about surviving and advancing. But Forrest got the game ball tonight for his performance.
What?
Oh yeah.
Now, what did he do at the dish?
He comes through in the clutch. He was 4 for 4 with 4 RBIs.
Damn.
So what does he got? Give me an estimate. What's his slugging percentage?
I think like Jeff Blauser back in the early 90s. That was he's going to aspire to be the next maybe Jeff Blauser, maybe a Mark Lemke back in the day. He's going to be like that utility guy, shortstop, second. He's going to hit 235, 240, but in the clutch is when he's going to come through.
The late Pete Van Warren would say the 2-1 to Blauser. That's high and away. I love those four, how they used to root that. It was what? Don Sutton, Carey, Joe Simpson, and Pete Van Warren.
Yeah.
They'd switch halfway through the game.
It was brilliant. I think, I started listening to that in Tallahassee, the station I worked for. We covered the Braves back then. It was good stuff. Okay. Boy, it's been some really good stuff in both the NBA and the NHL. I know you'll be monitoring that tonight. What else you got going on?
Yeah, Magic Pistons going on right now. As you can imagine, the Pistons down 3-1. No Franz Wagner. They're at home, and their backs are against the wall, so they've come out and kind of laid some haymakers on Orlando. This is simple. I mean, to me, Detroit's going to win tonight. Orlando needs to win on Friday in Orlando. And if Orlando does not win that home game in Game 6, they're going to lose the series in 7 because I don't think they would have a shot of winning Game 7 in Detroit. So a 3-1 lead is great, but it's not as great as it seems because, again, only one of those games is in Orlando. But if the Magic prove me wrong, we'll certainly keep people updated. And then I'm going to talk about the narrative surrounding the Jacksonville Jaguars. You know, that 13-4 season last year didn't seem to do a lot as far as the respect card nationally. Just getting killed about the draft. Gladstone, people are calling him arrogant. He doesn't have any idea what he's doing. I mean, that narrative that Liam Cohen had about the lack of respect, it's almost been multiplied even after a 13-4 season.
You know what? There's a lot of truth to that. But the other side of it, the Jaguars are relevant. The Jaguars are being talked about, whether it's like or dislike, whether it's moving up for Travis Hunter, whether it's the theory of how James Gladstone is building this organization. I mean, your boy Chad Forbes, who I have on every once in a while, just destroying this football organization.
I got Chad coming on tomorrow.
Do you?
Yeah. So
I haven't had him on a little bit. I need to get him when I get back from vacation.
Chad, at NFL Draft Bites on social media, he kind of went off the deep end on the Jaguars. And to be fair, I consider him a friend. I'm going to take him to task a little bit on some of the things that he said. I think people will enjoy that conversation. That'll air tomorrow evening.
All right. Have a fun show.
Thanks, Rick.
That's going to do it for me for a week. I'm on my way to the Dominican Republic. Going to have a hell of a good time. But I'll be thinking about you, each and every one of you. I will. And then when I come back, it's time to rock and time to really get after it. Hopefully there'll be a rookie mini camp as soon as I get back. And remember, May 26th is our first opportunity to see the Jaguars on the Miller Electric Center practice field. Before you know it, that'll be here. JJ, have a great week. I'll see you next week as well.
Friend.
For everyone, including John Osher, Rick Shoemaker, I'm Rick Ballou. Talk to you 1 week from tomorrow.
You're exactly the kind of hero the world needs. At the end of the day, it comes down to the